I'm loving all of it. I lost
so
my
sorry.
shit at Hattie's shenanigans. That was great.
It was great.
Tiggs, come
Well,
on.
we had to recap it because it was just too good to not like establish what it is exactly
Yeah.
that Hattie just did, which was just the
Yeah.
best thing ever.
She wasn't stealthing in any way. She had no intention of like hiding. She has no reason to hide it from the people around her.
Yeah,
She
she
just
was just doing whatever.
just doing whatever.
Finding something to look like she was doing something important.
Dude, like going through all of these processes to make sure that she doesn't have to return library books literally 12 hours after
Yeah.
after she checked them out. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Road to Elturel.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were live. Hi guys.
No, it's all good. This is what kind of a Saturday it is this Saturday.
Yep.
Thank you all for joining us. Right before we left the Waterdeep contingent of our party, Reyna and Snipe and Hattie and Hailra were finishing up some last business the night before they set off again for Skirnabel. So, before we pick up with them as they make their trip down south, we are going to swing in to Triel and see what Kaya has been up to with the rest of her day. So, Kaya, the last thing that you and Seymour did, you were discussing, basically making a bargain with City Harpel, who is the local healer, and also just sort of a really cool mage who has made her home in Triel. And you guys basically made a deal to help her save her wife, who made a deal with a vestige of the demon lord Orcus. And in exchange for that, she has tentatively agreed to help you with a demonic summoning, maybe. The terms of what exactly that entails are still a little bit in flux, but the groundwork is there. She has more or less agreed to help you with that as long as she's allowed to do it on her terms. So, Seymour has opted to take the time to sort of take a rest. City has basically told you that since you guys have 3 days left, and you suggested that you try to execute the plan sooner rather than later, she immediately went back over to her shop where she can start making the preparations that she needs to make before you guys leave. Basically, spells that she has to prepare from her spellbook, the stuff that she has to be ready to do to make sure that nothing bad happens once you get there, that she can do what she needs to do. Which basically gives you more or less the rest of the day to just sort of go about what you want. Seymour has opted to just go take a nap because he's kind of in that moment of, whenever you're dealing with a lot and sometimes you're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna sleep instead of processing. And that's kind of where Seymour's at right now, is going to take a nap. So what is it that you would like to do? You're kind of left alone in the tap room with Bill, who's a gangly youth full of freckles and red hair, who's just sort of chilling out. And he's like, so you're friends with Miss City, eh?
Sure.
I wish I could be friends with Miss City. She seems no, she's nice to me, don't get me wrong. She's a great employer, but, we're not really on, I'm not telling her about what's going on at the family farm, She just gets bored and drifts off, so I guess it's not something we're going to talk about, but it's nice that you seem to be on talking terms with her.
Right. Well, what kind of wine do you have?
Wine? We got some dandelion wine, if that's what you're interested in.
Sure, I'll take a bottle of that.
Let me go and fetch it. And he goes to the back room. He's like, it's just up here on this high shelf, so I just have to... Well, don't worry, we got a second bottle. All right, let me get the step stool this time. All right. Hey, Jinx, get out of the way, Jinx. Watch your feet, Jinx. All right, hold on. Just gotta get the cat out of the way. Oh, it's fine. We got a third bottle. It'll come out of my paycheck, though. Oh, Lord, that's going to cost me an arm and a leg. All right, well, here's the third bottle. And he comes back out and he's carrying, like, a glass. He's just like, you just tell me when to stop pouring.
I'll wait until it's all the way up to the brim and they'll say, stop.
All right, yeah. Like, all right. And, like, he passes it over to you, spills, like, a not insignificant amount over the rim as he's passing it over. And he's like, I'm sorry. Let me get that. And he gets out a rag and he just starts wiping up the counter. So what brings you into Triel? You passing through? Come to visit Miss City? On your way somewhere?
Yeah, basically. Kaya's gonna find a table a little bit further away from Bill and sit down with her drink.
All right. Well, if you need anything, just let me know. I'll be in the back sweeping up pieces of glass and making sure the cat isn't licking up the dandelion wine. And then he just goes back through the swinging door.
All right, first thing Kaya's gonna do is send a message to Snipe.
Okay. What message do you want to send to Snipe?
She's gonna say, Snipe, get to Triel quickly. We found a way to summon your demon. Anything we should know before we do this? Good luck traveling.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, fuck.
I might need a repeat of that. Hang on.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find a pencil that actually has lead in it. Okay, this one's good.
Going to repeat it.
Yes,
Yeah, could you repeat that for me, please?
Snipe, get to Triel quickly. We found a way to summon your demon. Anything we should know before we do it? Good luck traveling.
Okay.
All right, just give me a second to write that down.
Yeah, I'm taking a second. I'm taking a hot minute as well.
Summon your demon. Okay, and you won't get an immediate response. Snipe, I'll tell you whenever you can send a response. There's going to be a little bit of a delay, but what else is Kaya up to then? You're not going to get an immediate response from Snipe. We'll just have to kind of like magic is fiddly, whatever. You'll get a response eventually.
Is there anyone else in the tavern?
Let's see. So it's still like it's still kind of early afternoon. I guess it's actually closer to noon. Most people in Triel are still out in the fields. Triel is mostly a farming community, so most people spend their day out working, and then this place will probably be hopping by like 6 o'clock at night whenever everyone comes in. But for now, it's just kind of like you can wander the town and probably just have the little old lady you talked to before be the only person that bothers you.
All right, she'll just sit at a table in the corner, kind of put her feet up onto the table and tune her viola until people start arriving.
Okay.
Finish her drink, probably get a second one.
Okay. Yeah, Bill will come back over and he'll be like, can I top you off? I'll be happy to, I'll just pour you a little bit
ahead,
more. All right, well, you just let me know. And he'll wander back up. You kind of wonder if he's actually like, you don't know if he's actually old enough to be serving drinks, actually. You're like, I don't know if this kid should be bartending. But whatever. Small medieval towns, whatever. And then whenever the sun starts to go down, that's when people kind of start coming into the bar. A lot of people who've been like spending their day out in the field working, just kind of like hanging out for a drink. City, of course, she doesn't come back in. She's kind of working on stuff, but as people come in, they're kind of like, Time for time. I wonder when Sybil will be back. All this wonderful stuff. Oh, look who's at the counter. Hello, everyone. Welcome into the wagon wheel. What can I get you? And Bill is just like, Bill is trying to like one person run this entire establishment. He's like trying to like deliver out drinks. A lot of people are sitting up at the bar. There's like bar food, but a lot of it is just like slices of bread and things that don't require Bill to use the oven. like yeah, so it's just like a lot of like pretzels and like stuff that's easily and readily available, fruits and stuff. um and yeah, after maybe like half an hour to an hour, the wagon wheel is actually kind of a happening place. A lot of people just kind of like talking about their day and what's been going on lately and all that stuff.
Is there a is there a stage in this tavern, or is it just a regular tavern?
uh roll me a d20.
Okay. 10.
Let's see, 10. There's sort of a cleared out area. You see that a couple of the farmers have actually brought in, like one of them has brought in like a fiddle. Another has brought in like a banjo. Um, Another has brought in an instrument that isn't really stereotypically farmery. I don't know, but and you see that a couple of them actually tune up their instruments, and a couple of them like they start to play. And you see a couple people sort of like getting out on a space that's sort of cleared out for dancing. And you kind of see that maybe they play a couple songs, they go back, they sit down and drink some more, they get back up, play a couple more songs. It's just like a really informal thing, but you think if you wanted to perform, like no one would stop you. They would probably even welcome a sort of change in music.
Can I sort of at one point as they're playing their banjos or whatever, can she take out her viol and try to just kind of play a response to whatever they're playing, kind of match them a little?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a performance check.
19.
19. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so they kind of start in on a song. And it's one that you have heard before whenever you travel with the troopers. It's sort of like it's like one of those folk songs that everybody has their own verses to. Everyone knows it, and everyone kind of like makes up their own verses to it. And the melody is really simple, so you can sort of very easily sort of create a call and response with the band. And whenever they hear you picking it up, they'll kind of like respond to what you're doing, and it kind of creates this like feedback loop of both of you working together.
She'll get up at that point and go on stage with them and continue playing.
Okay, yeah. And 19 is amazing. So you actually kind of take like a lead position in the band. They're all like amateur musicians. They work during the day and then they kind of do this to unwind at night. So you kind of take like the lead melody, and then it kind of turns into a situation where they're sort of just like supporting what you're doing. And everyone is really feeling it, and a lot of people sort of get out on the dance floor. And it's just, you guys have like a jam session, and it's really awesome. There's like a square dance starting. Some people kind of like sing along. You kind of get the vibe that there's like a Triel specific version of this song, or like verses that are really common around here that you haven't heard before. But the chorus is still the same. So you can kind of like join in on the chorus, and then they kind of like sing these other verses that you're not familiar with. But
at one point, at a time when the song is hitting some sort of peak, she's going to cast Major Image and create another version of herself, also playing the viol, and start a duet with herself. before before
That's
putting away
fucking
her
dope.
viol and starting to dance along with the people that are dancing, having her major image continue playing for her.
Oh my god. Okay, roll me a performance check at advantage.
26.
Okay, yeah. So you create this version of yourself that just starts like playing the counter melody to whatever you're doing, and it's like the dopest shit these people have ever seen in their lives. Like, you know, they have City in the village, but like she doesn't do flashy magic. She's like the person you go to whenever your sheep has broken a leg and you're trying not to lose the sheep. So like this is spectacular. This is like showy magic that they're not used to. And the whole thing, like they're enraptured, and then you come down off the stage and start dancing immediately. Like this girl, she just like hooks an arm with you and just starts like spinning around. And you said that you were trying to like collect money, right? So what are you using as like your tin or your
Well,
your
I don't
pan?
have a hat to throw, but
Right.
she'll use like a pouch or something, an empty one, and
Does your viola have a case that you keep it in?
oh yeah, it does.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So if like while you're dancing, maybe you brought the case up onto the stage with you, and you can absolutely be like, sort of like, hey, how about some money? Hey, roll a persuasion check at advantage, please.
Cool. Fun. 26.
26. Oh my goodness. Okay.
15 plus 11.
Yeah. Well, I completely lost my little note card for how social checks work, but I know that that's amazing. So, yeah, these people are absolutely going to give you what's available to them. Obviously, this is like a small town, so they can only give you like so much, you know. But you can definitely earn like 10 silver pieces and then like 67 coppers. So not like a huge amount, but for Triel, like pretty impressive.
Right, she'll take it.
They're pretty
Use
big
it to-
fans of this magician musician who rolled into town.
She'll use it to buy herself another drink and sit down, letting the major image continue playing for a little bit until it fades away.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, so unless there's something else you want to do, I kind of want to just like fade out the scene there because that's a really great cut for that scene. Just sort of like the knight is dancing away and Kai's just like enjoying the fruits of her labor. Just like, hell yeah.
That's all she'll do.
Okay, okay. In that case, in the morning, in Waterdeep. So this is the beginning of the day that Kai is currently wrapping up. You all are getting ready to head out again.
Can I do something in the evening?
Yes. What do you want to do, Reina?
It might take a little while, but
That's okay.
Raina would have gone to sleep as early as she could, and then in the evening she would have started walking towards her old house,
Okay.
and she would have left a note in the Wayfarer's Inn saying, "I'll be back if you're looking for me. I'll be at my old house. See you in the morning."
Okay. Okay.
And she would have started headed there, and see whoever is around.
Tell me about the Veron estate in Waterdeep.
It's Jesus. Now I have to think about this. Let me process.
Yeah, you thought for a second I was going to
Yeah.
describe your rich
No.
house. No, no, no.
Of course not. No, it's a house built on the cliffside. It has a very pretty overview of the sea.
Okay.
When you walk into it, it's a very clean and neat house. gates around the outside and a beautiful garden that's being attended to. Double doors as you walk in, and it's just a marble white house, basically.
Okay. So it's very like it's not even like English country manor. It's like we were inspired by neoclassical architecture and
Yeah.
we decided to go all in on pillars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very off from the rest of the buildings there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, so you get up to the gates of the house. Of course, there's like a little wall, of course, that goes around the outside of the estate. And it's getting into evening, so all of the gardeners have like retired for the night, either back to their homes or the ones that live on site, you know, they retire to the servants' quarters. And you, of course, can just make your way through the gate easily. There's nothing that would impede you because you are, of course, a Veron. So you just walk up to the house and you just knock on the door. And then about a minute after you knock on the door opens and there's a man in a incredibly well pressed tuxedo. She's like, ah, the young Madame Veron. Welcome home, Mrs.
Thank you, Daniel.
Of course, Mrs. Of course. Would you like to come inside?
Yes, I am only here for a quick look around.
Yes, I'm
Is my-
afraid that your father isn't... Oh, of course. I'm sorry for speaking out of turn. What is it that you would like, Mrs.?
It's all fine. Yeah, if my father isn't home.
Yes, I'm afraid that he's still attending to business down at the Temple of the Seldarine.
Okay, that's all well. I can find my way around here.
Of course, if there's anything you need, of course, just ring one of the many bells and I'll be there as soon as you need. Just call for me.
Yes, will do.
And he just like wanders off into the bowels of the house somewhere.
She'll quietly wander in, just looking around, taking everything in, and she'll beeline to her room.
Okay. I imagine this house. So there's like the formal sitting room, and then there's the semi-formal sitting room, and then there's the casual family room, and then there's also like the entertainment parlor. So like just too many fucking rooms for anything. There's like a formal dining room and the family dining room. And I imagine that Raina's house is like somewhere upstairs in the bowels of the house. So
Yeah.
yeah, just like tell me about where is Raina's room located in this sprawling estate, and what is it like?
Rena's room is located on the seaside of the house, with the windows overlooking the sea. It's a pretty small room in comparison to the different rooms in the house, with pretty sparse like decoration. It's a bed, a wardrobe, a table, and with a mirror, basically vanity, and it's pretty clean and pretty like sparse of everything. And she'll walk into her room and just stand there looking at everything. And she'll walk to the wardrobe and she will pick out clothes that she used to wear when she would go out wandering in the forest, and just take them on, put them on, and leave the dress.
Roll me a perception check, Raina.
Perception. 25.
25. Okay. So obviously, as we know, it's been a while since Raina's been up to the estate here in Waterdeep. Mostly she lives in the Patriarch Manor that you guys have down in Baldur's Gate whenever she's not out in the world, wherever she wants to be. One thing that you notice, though, whenever you open up the wardrobe is that all of the clothes are fresh. Whenever... You know how, like, sometimes if you leave, like, a particular shirt or something in a closet for a really long time, it'll kind of take on the smell of the closet? None of these clothes have that scent. It's like they've all been laundered recently.
She's taking her time with everything because it's a very double feeling right now here. But she will put the clothes on, and she will leave the dress in the dresser instead of her own own clothes.
I get you. Don't worry, Raina. I'm focused on what's happening with you right now, not whatever's going on with Hattie and her square.
Okay, that's
Okay.
yeah. And after
Yes.
that, she'll just kind of wander the house.
Okay. So it's just like it basically you're
I'm
taking
so
along like
sorry.
No, you're fine. You're
good.
taking along like riding pants and stuff, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
more practical adventuring gear. Okay. Yeah, as you wander the house, it is as you left it, more or less. Nothing really changes here, you know? That's sort of the thing about being a Veron and having the Veron estate. You know, it's a legacy, right? It's something that you have to uphold rather than something that you are. You know, it's like this house, you are the steward of it, not the owner of it. Roll me an insight check as you kind of wander through the house.
Insights?
Yes, insight.
That's a 9.
A 9. You aren't really sure how your parents put up with it, actually. Being here all the time, upholding this image of what it is to be part of the Veron clan, right? And, you know, your mother married into it, but she herself was part of and actually, come to think of it, this is a weird thing to establish right now, but did your mother marry into the Veron, or was her name Veron? And then
Her name was Veron.
Okay, so your father actually married into the Veron family.
Yeah.
So it's this situation of it's this title that you all have to uphold because you have this history of being these great clerics, you know, these great servants of Corellian. Frankly, you don't know how your parents can stand it for any length of time. Like, just the oppressive nature of this legacy that they're under.
As she gets to basically the entrance, she will find a little table near the stairs, and she will leave a folded note there, and she will take her exit.
Okay. Do you pick up more money before you leave?
Sure. Sure.
Well, you leave the note on the table, so you go ahead and do that. And then on your way out, before you leave, Daniel comes shuffling back and he says, Madam Raina, I hope that I am not being too forward, but your father did send a message along saying that you required some finances for the road, and he told me that you were staying at the Wayfarer Inn. I was going to run this to you in the morning, but if it's not too presumptuous, if you would like to take it now and spare an old man a walk down the road, I would be appreciative if
I would
that's
love to.
okay. Thank you.
I would love to. Thank you, Daniel, for everything.
Of course.
He's about to die.
Oh, forever
Now
in
I-
your service, Mistress Rayna. Forever in your service. And he'll hand you a bag. And in this bag will be... In this bag will be 1,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
Just a passable amount of change to pass on to you.
She
Until
will-
until she can get back to her home in Baldur's Gate, right?
Yeah. She will put it in her bag of holding, not bag of holding, haversack. And she will kind of look over the house once more. And a tear will start forming in her eye, and she will start walking out.
Okay. Okay. In that case, you make it back to the inn. Morning arrives about the time that you get back, and you all prepare to leave. Artius has already made arrangements. Hattie, whenever you actually encountered him at the Griffin Cavalry the other day, he was talking to a friend of his, Sildar Hallwinter, a retired Griffin cavalryman who was watching the inn for him while he was away. So he basically just explained, I'm back for a day, and I'm going to leave again. So how's the inn been? And please keep watching it. He's already made his arrangements. And he's all ready to go if you guys are. So without any further ado, he's going to lead you guys back out into the yard where he is going to draw the teleportation circle down to Skirnabow.
Everyone ready?
Yes.
Don't forget your horse.
Yes.
guess I would have already thought of collecting some.
That's right. You're going to bring Seb along. Okay. Well, Artius actually isn't. No, it's fine. Artius isn't going to bring his horse with him. He's just going to travel by foot. But yeah, he's fine with Seb coming along. He'll just he draws out the circle on a wall of the inn, and then it begins to glow, and then you all pass through it into a stone room. And there is a person standing at a set of doors going into the room. You see that they are dressed in like simple robes with an apron on. They have a whole bunch of herbs hanging from a belt, and they have red cord wrapped around their face, covering up one of their eyes. And Leela Wrist says to you, you must be the folks that we were warned about.
Warned is a great word.
Well, Healer Anders has her way with words. You are that group, correct? The ones who are here to see the Master Healer?
If it's about everything that's going on with that people washing up, yes.
Excellent. We are happy to have you. My name is Leela Wrist. I'm a healer here at the Cloisters of the Tier. And I usually, I'm here to bring you over to Master Healer Palia. Is there anything that you need before we go into the meeting?
No, we should be fine.
Probably someone to store this horse.
Oh, yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course.
do you have snacks?
No, I assumed that you were going to be eating before you came here.
Yeah, no, I forgot to do that.
Oh, okay.
Not breakfast?
No, there was a thing with a pixie.
Well, this should only take a while. We'll get breakfast whenever
Sure, you don't
we
have like
can.
any cake, biscuits.
Well, I can see what's available while you
That would
are
be
all
brilliant.
meeting
Thank
with-
you so much.
Oh, okay. And she leads you out across the cloisters of the tier. So, you all step out of the building, and you see that you're kind of in a small courtyard area, a cloister. So there's kind of these stone hallways that are sort of open to the courtyard, and she just leads you across it. To a sort of big building that has like a circular stained glass window in it. And she just knocks on the door and opens it. She says, Master Palea, the adventurers that Master Anders messaged about have arrived. And you hear a voice from inside say, excellent. See them in. And you all file into this room, and you see that it's sort of like a headmaster's office. There's lots of bookshelves along the walls. There's a big oak desk. There's some windows that sort of look out into other courtyards. And there is a man sitting behind the desk who's also wearing these simple robes, the belt full of herbs, and he also has red cords, and his red cords are wrapped around his chest. Welcome to the Cloisters of the Tier.
Thank you.
Hi.
Would you like to have a seat? And he gestures to 4 chairs that he has. 5 chairs that he has.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So what has Master Anders told you about our problem?
The main thing was that people were washing up on shore with red cords tied around their hands. That's the main thing I've heard.
That covers the basics of it, yes.
Hmm.
Well,
Curious what more information there is.
well, to be frank, there isn't much more information than that. Leela, I'll call you in if I need you, but if you could leave us be. And Leela will nod her head and just sort of back out of the room and close the door. Master Pelia will sort of go around to all the windows, and they all have like long kind of velvet curtains that can draw closed. And he just sort of draws them closed and just like lights some candles to sort of keep the room lit. I'm going to be honest with you all, since you're here, and since you have agreed to help us. I am not keen on the idea of our network of teleportation circles being used as convenience travel for adventurers. However, I do thank the crying God that you have an hour of need, because I am in need of someone of your skill set. What do you know, if anything, of a monastic order that calls themselves the Long Death?
Thanks, I
Good
would
question.
never have heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I need
Yeah.
this.
Here's what you could do. You can all roll me history checks to see if you have heard of that.
Okay.
I'm not even going to bother looking at what my modifier is.
Okay, before the game I was rolling really shitty, and now I'm rolling like 17, 19s, 18s.
Very helpful.
I rolled a 26.
A 26. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so that's pretty good. How did everyone else do?
13.
7.
13, 7. Okay. Um,
12.
12. Okay. So Snipe and Hailra. So Hattie, you haven't really heard. You may have heard the name Long Death before, but you don't know what it relates to. It's just kind of something you've heard talked about while traveling on the road. Snipe and Hailra, you've heard a little bit more. You know that the way of the Long Death is it's like a monastic order, and it's like the monks of the order. They have like a fascination with death, and you know that they kind of have a history of. It's a name that you have heard said in fear by travelers. It's like a situation where there are reports of people having died on the road, like travelers having died on the road or bodies having turned up on the road. And the monks of the Long Death are a name that comes up frequently. Whenever there's like no scratch marks, whenever there's no like obvious signs of animal attack or monster attack, frequently people will suggest that maybe it was a monk of the Long Death who attacked a person on the road.
Would this be something I've heard about while in the fort or in Elturel?
Generally speaking, and Elturel, probably not. Elturel has a history of outwardly fighting evil, but sweeping problems under the rug. So, like, if a monk of the Long Death were ever to get into Elturel, they would handle it, and they would handle it quietly. But at Fort Tamal, you may have encountered travelers who spoke about experiences with either like, tales of like, I heard of this traveler who escaped from a monk who practiced this. It's almost like a boogeyman. Like you're not even sure if these monks exist. But Reyna, you would know that the way of the Long Death, it's like it's almost seen as like they aren't worshippers of gods, but it's almost like they worship death as a god. Or at the very least, they have like some sort of fascination with dying. And you know that it's sort of the bane of a lot of churches that are dedicated to like good gods. The way of the Long Death is kind of seen as like it's like it's like they're overextending. Like they like they are pursuing something because it fascinates them. It's almost like this is really hard to explain, and I apologize. But it's like Dr. Frankenstein, right? Like Dr. Frankenstein created the monster not because he actually wanted to bring something to life, but because he wanted to prove that he could do it, right? And that's sort of the impression that a lot of folks have of the monks of the Way of the Long Death. Is it's like they pursue death because they're fascinated by it, and it doesn't matter who dies. They just want to study the death. And they kind of like they act as travelers on the road so that they can lure people in.
Okay. I've heard some things about them.
Well then perhaps you know that they have a history of posing on the road as Ilmatari.
Mm-hmm.
I am concerned that at some point in recent history, one of these monks has entered into the city of caravans and is currently trying to undermine or have people misinterpret what it means to worship the god of mercy and suffering. Unfortunately, I have no proof of this. But while the Watch assures me that they can handle this problem themselves, I believe that the culprit is much more dangerous than they are allowing for. Which is why I was actually relieved to hear that a group of adventurers needed to use our teleportation circle. Perhaps you can handle this problem in a way that our guards cannot.
This might be a morbid curiosity, but do you guys still have a body? Or one of the washed up people?
We do. The healer that you met, Leela Rist, she is the last healer. She performs the final rites on those who die here in the city and those who die in the cloister. She has been taking care of the bodies while the Watch runs their investigation.
Could it be possible to go and see one of those bodies?
I would encourage you to look at the bodies. I have instructed Leela to be open with you in whatever investigations you make, in addition to the investigations made by the guards. And I've informed the guards that you will also be working on this. And so they should, if they are honorable, allow you to see what evidence they have as well.
Hattie's been sitting there with her hand up, just kind of looking backwards and forwards, like not jumping in at all, just like sitting there as if in class.
Yes, to the monk.
Okay, so just so I've got this right, you have no proof that it isn't one of your men who has gone rogue, and just now you said that if your people are honourable, so technically you are saying that you are not sure whether your own people are honourable, and so you're and you don't have any proof that it's an outside person rather than a rogue monk on your behalf. And I mean, I don't want to speak for all monks, however, sometimes we take rules as suggestions. Not me, obviously, but some monks do. But you appear to have lots of proof that things are happening in relation to your own organisation, however, very little in regards to it actually not being your organisation. Am I correct?
Who are you?
Hattie Curses from Candlekeep. Hi.
Knowledge seekers. Of course.
Just a few questions.
Well, Hattie Curtis of Candlekeep. You're right. I don't have any proof. Which is why we are currently standing in my office with the doors closed and the curtains drawn.
Yeah, I was wondering about the curtains. It seemed very creepy.
I need to know if this is an outside force acting against the Cloisters and the Ilmatari, or if someone has strayed from the path.
You sound hopeful that someone has not strayed from the path, though.
I have to be able to trust the people who work in the cloister, Hattie.
I feel that when I'm sitting here in your office in the dark.
Hattie, can I ask one
No,
question?
no, I have one more question.
One more? Just one.
It's gone from my mind. Oh my god,
Think
my
about
brain.
it. I will ask.
No, so here's just one last thing.
How very Columbo of you.
What level of persuasion do you use on your members? I mean, obviously, I don't want to say indoctrination because that would be rude.
I'm sorry. I don't think I understand your question.
And that's all I need to know. Yes, Raina?
Sure. I'm wondering, when did the body started washing up?
1 month ago, give or take. At the beginning of whatever the fuck that month is.
So send it in the Discord if you can find it.
Yeah,
Okay. And is there some sort of pattern in how many bodies?
Myrtle.
Times, days, locations.
Any specific
We
age
can't. We can't be sure. We can't be sure how long they were in the Kyanthar before they washed up. But it has been about a body a week. A body every 10 days.
Okay. So 3 bodies now.
Any
Yes.
unifying features? Who are they?
That, yeah, he would know. They were caravan leaders, from my understanding, from what the guard has told me.
Had they previously arrived here, or were they on their way here?
That I do not know. That you will have to ask the guard.
Did some new people join the Cloister recently?
We have new initiates often. We are a training ground for Ilmatari who wish to focus on healing. So while our core staff is largely unchanging, the Ilmatari who come through, the young Ilmatari who come through are frequently different.
How do you enroll them?
Can I make an insight check on that answer?
Sure.
I'm so sorry, my Zoom crashed and I have no idea what happened.
It's fine.
That's okay. Hera and Kaya are just switched.
I was going to say, I may have got the layout.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I think on Zoom you can click and drag the actual people in Zoom around. So.
Yeah.
That's right, you can.
So that's easier.
Nope.
I rolled a
Messed that
natural
all
one.
up.
Oh no.
Oh, no. A natural one, which would still make it an 8, but it's a natural one.
Okay. Yeah, you can only you don't know this person. So
No.
like you don't know what their signifiers are if they are lying. And universal signifiers are not helping you with this person.
No.
Generally though, they seem to be sincere. This seems like it's a legitimate problem that they're trying to solve. Because it has a noticeable impact on their organization.
Helva, as the conversation's going on, she sits up in the chair and is now in like the sort of um, in sort of like mode where she has to act as a captain
Mm-hmm.
because this is what she has to deal with. I have a few questions for you.
Sure. And before you ask the question, Tara, I do want to point out that Hera would have a somewhat unique perspective on this because matron Serafina trained at the Cloisters of the Tier, and she always spoke very highly of it. So you do know that at the very least, as an organization, the Cloisters has
Yeah.
it's been a good service to Elturgard. But go on with your questions.
So you said the bodies showed up about a month ago, and it was one body a week.
More or less, yes.
Did you notice anything before the body showed up that was maybe strange or out of place or was different from the norm?
Not that I can say. Skirnabel is the city of caravans. We get travelers in and out all the time. Businesses change hands frequently. There really isn't anything here that you could call the norm. We recently got a new captain of the guard, but that was actually after the bodies began washing up. Perhaps you know of him. It's Sir Caliph Moore. I'm given to understand that he was the head of the Overseer's Guard in Elturel, and the Overseer sent him personally to attend to this matter.
I'm familiar.
And that's about right, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the right reaction, Hera. You
And-
know this dude, and yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, no, I was thinking to go to the High Overseer. I was like, no
Yeah.
likey.
Yeah, it's
So I was
fair.
like, so the High Overseer sent the captain.
He was concerned about this recent turn of events. You may have also heard that there have been raiders from the Reaching Wood recently. That started about 2 months ago now. So we've had some issues in Eastern Elturgard that the High Overseer has thought fit to stop ignoring.
Makes sense why I've not heard of that yet. Is just between this group, is there anyone in here that you may not fully trust? They may seem like a respected monk or a respected member, or is there anyone who you have a bit of distrust for, or maybe you think they might be hiding something?
And who's the person you have the most trust for? I'm not talking about high levels. I'm talking monks that you have here. Who's your most trusted monk? If you had someone, if you needed a monk to deliver a message of personal importance or something, who would you go to?
Okay. Let's see, who... turning to you, Hera, Riven will say, Master Healer Riven Palea will say, I trust all of my staff. All of the core members have my trust. The initiatives, I cannot say one way or the other. But because of the work we do, I must trust them. We receive too many cases every night for me to not trust them to do their work.
Understood.
As to who I trust the most, that would be the monk who brought you here, Leela Rist. She has been a part of the Cloisters for many years. She came to us after years of service in the Purple Dragon Knights of Cormier as a field medic. And she has returned to us to lay those to rest, to their final rest. And I trust her implicitly.
Okay. Can we go talk to her?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think we have any other questions. When we do, we will try to contact you.
Okay.
And we'll see what we can do.
If
As
you...
as we leave, like if we're all together as we leave, Helva's gonna like whisper so only the group can hear, but she's going to say, "Do not trust that guard captain."
Okay.
roll me a stealth check to whisper this, because
Everyone else a perception check.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, you guys are fine. We'll just have to see if Riven Palea hears you say this.
Okay. Just straight stealth, so don't need to roll. Just straight stealth.
Yeah, just straight stealth.
Okay. God, my stealth isn't that good.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
have
no.
yet. What'd you get?
Nat 1 + 1, 2.
Okay. Okay.
Damn it.
In that case, Riven will lead you all out of the office. You whisper this thing. And you all sort of walk out into the courtyard, and Riven will just say behind you, "Should you need anything, speak with the healer in the front office," and he'll gesture like across the courtyard. And you see there's like a little door, and sort of like you can look inside the window and see that it's basically like a waiting room. And he'll say, whoever's on duty will contact me, and I'll make time as best I can. Do not come after the sun falls. There are far too many cases for us to deal with. I will not be able to see you until the sun rises again.
Is there a reason why there's more cases at night?
We live in a city of caravans. Almost every other building out there is either an alehouse or a nightclub or a tavern or an inn. And frankly, a lot of people get belligerent, and frankly, there are just too many people who are either poisoned or stabbed or injured in a bar fight. Our emergency room is busy all night after the sun goes down. Our work is never done. That is why we are the best healers, if I do say so myself.
We'll go and see the bodies, I believe.
Yeah, so Riven will direct you off to, God, I have to think about this now in perspective of where he's standing. He'll direct you off to the left, which he'll say that to the right is operations, so that's where all of the surgery and healing that needs done immediately happens. Off to the left of his office is recovery. So that's where people go to recover. It's where they go to be monitored, and it's also where the moratorium is. So that's where you can go and look at the bodies.
Okay. Um, anyone skittish about this kind of stuff?
What,
Depends
looking at
how old
bodies?
it is. Can I poke it?
No. Let's keep our respect to the dead bodies, to the dead.
I mean, they're gone now, so
Yeah, but still, come on. If you were to lay down there dead, would you want someone to poke you?
Did you poke my dead
I
body? in the
mean,
next few
I wouldn't
days?
care because I was dead.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's just say no.
No.
And Raina
so-
will go in.
Yeah, so you guys can make your way over. There's signage on the door, so you can very easily find which room enters into the moratorium, and it actually leads to a flight of stairs. So you actually go down beneath the cloisters, and there's just sort of an open room. Stairs leading up. There are several shelves on the wall. This room is much colder than the rooms upstairs, and there's sort of an arch that appears to lead out into some other set of rooms. And Leela is here, and she currently has a plate full of biscuits, and there are 3 dead bodies lying out on slabs. And she's like, I found some biscuits. Do you want some?
Yes, please, thank you. And she's just gonna kind of take all of them and scoop them into her hands and just start eating them and
Okay.
peering at the bodies. Like
Okay.
not even the ones that she's here to see, just all of them. Just
Yeah.
wandering around like it's a museum.
So yeah, so there's jam-filled biscuits. So Hattie is making all these squelching noises as she's biting into these biscuits, and just observing the dead bodies around the room.
Crumbs everywhere.
Yeah,
Getting
crumbs
red
everywhere.
jam all over her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not blood, I swear.
I will go over to Lila, is her name?
Yes, Leela Wrist.
And I will ask her, what is the information you got from the bodies so far? Any external scars, damage, internal damage?
Well, it's not really my job to cut people open. If I had to take a guess, I'd say that they probably died by drowning in the river.
Okay.
But you're more than welcome to examine the bodies yourself.
Yeah.
It's not really my area of expertise to determine the cause of death. My area of expertise is making sure that people are properly given their final rest.
Yes. Would you be okay if I ask you to leave the room for a moment?
Of course. I need to go see if there's anything that Master Healer needs anyway. So please don't disturb any of the bodies on the wall. These are all people who still need laid to rest. And it's very important to me that if I leave this room unattended with people inside, that you are respectful of the dead.
Of course.
Oh. Hattie's gonna kind of brush some crumbs off one of the bodies that she's been peering at while eating a cookie.
It's yes.
It's just stealthily trying not to be seen, but still trying to get the crumbs out of this person's hair
Okay.
as she's peering at the head.
Jesus. Okay. So you do that, and Healer Wrist will just sort of take her leave of the room and head back up the stairs.
Raina,
Hmm?
do you need any assistance with looking over the bodies? I have some experience, not a lot, just some.
It feels so wrong to say this, but I don't want to look over the bodies. I want to talk with them.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Inhale and just move out of the way.
Raina will take a look around the room, see if there's no healer around, and she'll go to the body that looks the freshest, basically, the
Okay.
youngest. And she'll start setting up incense around it, and she'll start casting speak with that.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah, you get 5 questions with Speak with Dead, don't you? I remember
3.
trying to come up with questions.
Do
It's
you
the
want to be
3.
my friend? What's your favorite color?
Okay, I go over to Hattie and just think, okay, maybe stay out of the way.
Want a
hearing
biscuit,
distance.
Snipe?
Oh, 5
Are you
questions.
sure
Yeah.
it's
Yes,
Oh, it
yeah.
is 5 questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 5 questions.
Yeah, but it can be cryptic, but
Got a
I
biscuit
just
roll?
remember trying to come up with 5 questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. So you start to cast this spell, and the incense starts to burn, and there's like a further dip in temperature. So it's already like cold in here to make sure that all the bodies don't like decay. But it's like there's this dip in temperature, and the torches that are lighting this room kind of flicker down. And this you didn't notice it at first because clearly there was like some enchantment, or perhaps Wrist also burns incense down here. Sorry, my bad. Burns incense down here to like keep the smell at bay. But the smell of decay just like really starts to like make itself present in the room. And you see that some of the smoke from the incense just sort of twists itself and shoots into the nose and mouth of this body that you've chosen. And for a moment, nothing. And then... and like these like eyes that have... this body has spent time in a river. So it's like bloated, and like the eyes are like decayed and like full of catarrh and just blinded, and this like there's like it's discolored all over the place, and it's just like this drowned thing brought back to life, and it like it's like trying to like cough, and it's horrifying because you've brought a dead person back to life with magic. And you didn't even really bring them back to life. You're just kind of like animating them.
I
What-
don't know if this works, Janks, but to help Raina, can I cast Zone of Truth?
Um,
Well, the override.
so Zone of Truth, the thing is, the corpse isn't going to lie. It has to offer a... Oh, I guess it's under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer.
Yes,
It's there to answer. If it answers the question in some way, it's allowed the next question basically.
Yeah, it could lie. The corpse is allowed to lie. So that's why I was thinking, am I allowed to cast Zone of Truth to sort of help Raina, see if we can get any truth out of the corpse?
Yeah, if you want to. I see no reason why you can't cast Zone of Truth.
Okay. Yeah, cast Zone of Truth. The corpse needs to make a charisma saving throw.
It's not even gonna make the saving throw because it's not really sentient. It's a dead thing that's been reanimated. So, it'll just fail. Really.
Yeah. So wait. Where does it say? Oh yeah, it's aware of. So the affected creature is aware of the spell, but again, it's not sentient. But I know. Yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah. So this will probably make it tell the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask, Raina?
I would just kind of look at Snipe and Hattie and go around and be like, okay. And I will walk up and I will ask, could you describe the last person you've seen before you were thrown in the river?
I swear to God, if the answer was just yes. Like, can you? Yep, I sure can.
A figure.
May
A figure in shadow. They struck without a warning. tonight. I didn't see their fate.
Okay.
This is terrifying.
Yep.
Yeah, you reanimate a
drink
fucking
water.
corpse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snipes not scared. This is this is just a Thursday night at the pub. Not
Yeah.
home.
It's whatever.
Okay.
Ask him where. Ask him where.
What was your last location before you ended up in the river?
I was in the caravan. The Eastern Field. The Estragon League.
Okay. I will just look at Hattie, Snipe, and Hilra.
How did they attack? Are they magical? Were they melee? What was the? Can I punch them?
Is Hattie asking this question?
No.
No, I believe only I can ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can they be my friend?
Don't.
Did anyone notice? Who was the caravan? Who
No.
are they? What-
No, Hattie.
Asked
Did
if
you-
anyone else they knew had been taken or disappeared.
Did you have any enemies when you came to this town?
Everyone has enemies.
How many questions did you have?
I have 5 total. I
asked
asked
three.
3.
So you have 2 more.
I think if we find out maybe who he is, we can kind of follow the trail and see and find out more information about who he is as a person. And then you have one question left and you don't have to worry about, where was your place of birth? Who was your next of kin?
The other will.
Do you have a will? Can I be on your will? That's always my favorite one. That's a good question. If there's like a disputed will, can you do this to a corpse and like fix the dispute? That's not relevant
No.
right now.
This, Hattie, what you're witnessing would be frowned upon by literally anyone who would try to do that. Like, this is not super cool magic to be doing to a person.
I quickly asked Raina, did they say if the person who killed them said anything before they were killed? If they heard their voice?
Was it a ritual? Or
That's
were
what
they
I'm
just
thinking. Like,
stabby stabbed?
they were hit unwarned. And it was a shadowy figure.
So you asked me to ask them about, did they hear any speaking?
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Because if there was like chanting and stuff, we know it's a ritualistic thing.
You
If they were
hear
like, you will die at the hands of my god. Rah, we know.
you hear a click at the top of the stairs, and you know that you have moments before Healer Wrist
Hattie
comes
is
back down
going
and
to
sees what you're
run-
doing.
To turn around and run up the stairs.
Okay.
Okay.
Raina's gonna ask, did you hear any talking before you died?
A voice. The false will be punished for their cruelty.
Okay. Can I just end? No, I can only ask if I ask 5 questions. Okay.
Ask their name. Ask who they are.
Who are you?
Tara Malard, caravan leader of the Estragon League. And the body just falls back into its regular state.
Raina will quickly pick up every incense holder and shove them in a pocket and just start acting like she's just looking at the body.
Okay.
Emma will help.
Yeah.
Hattie will come walking back down the stairs with Leela wrist. Hattie, of course, you managed to buy just enough interference time for Raina to ask these final questions.
She
And
was doing a Hattie.
Well, Leela will be coming down the stairs and she'll say, well, it's okay if you got jam in the hair. We can wash that, but I would just ask you, yeah.
I was just worried. I mean, I didn't mean to. I was just leaning over because the eyes looked really cool. And
No,
then
it's okay.
It just splodged on, and I was worried. And I tried to get it out, and I just kind of combed it further into the hair. And like realistically, I should have just maybe used some soap and water, or just told you straight away, or maybe just picked it out rather than, He has a great hairstyle now. It was my bad. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I just ask for respect for the bodies.
Yeah. I don't have any more cookies. I gave one to the weasel, so I don't have any more anymore. So,
As you guys enter the room, I need Raina to make a deception check at advantage because Hair is helping you to see if Wrist notices that you did something.
Oh yeah, I would have dispelled the zone of truth because if she entered the room, she would have entered the zone of truth.
Sure.
So I've dispelled it.
Thank you for the advantage, because that was a 3 and then 17, so that's 19 total.
Ooh.
Oh, my heart.
you almost got kicked out of a morgue. Who gets kicked out of a morgue?
Not many people, I can assure you of that.
That goes on the
Like
CV.
of all of our group, of who you think to get us kicked out.
Oh no, Jack's face.
You wouldn't think the cleric is the one to get us kicked out of a
Hang
morgue.
hang on a minute.
Oh god.
Hang on. Jack's face. Oh,
My
no.
heart is
So-
racing right now.
Leela Wrist rolled an 18. And as a priest, she gets a +3 to her wisdom.
Ah, jeez. Well, we're kicked out.
Fuck.
Leela enters the room and looks up from her conversation with Hattie, and she just looks around. And you
Got
see,
jam in more than just the hair. I'm sorry, they were trying to fix it. There was
It's-
a massive spill of crumbs and
something is... And she walks over to the body that you're standing next to, Tara Millard. And she picks up a hand that has fallen over the side of the table. And she just sets it back up on the table where it was whenever she left. Are you done here?
Yeah, I think we should be fine.
All right. Well, I hope that you were able to learn whatever it is you needed to learn.
Yeah, I think we got some new information we can use. We'll get back to you guys when we have some more information that's new to you guys as well.
I have a question for you.
Thank you.
Though, Miss Rest. You say you're a healer. You deal with just like everyday people who come and go, like on the regular.
Generally, yes, when I'm not working here.
Do you have visitors, like not necessarily people who are ill? Like, do you have people who pop by and visit every now and again?
How do you mean?
It's just in usual places of healing. Like, if some people take a long time to heal, like usually they have family members and friends that come by. It wouldn't really seem like out of the ordinary for somebody to visit unusually regularly if they didn't really have a reason to come in.
I'm sure there are visiting hours. Usually, though, that would be something that has to be checked in at the front desk. So, if we're done here, thank you for the service that you're providing to the Cloister.
I do actually have one more question. You were wait, this is the person who was named as most trusted, right?
Most trusted, yeah.
Yeah. You were named as the most trusted person here, and
An honor.
I understand there is a level of trust between a doctor and their patient. So I'm not asking you to spill the secrets of everyone, but if someone had come in with unusual wounds, unusually regularly, would you be able to tell me if that had happened? And if so, who they were?
Roll me a persuasion check at disadvantage, Hattie. Because Wrist is now hostile to you because you've
Well,
disturbed
of
one
course.
of her bodies.
Yep.
Where is my D&D Beyond? Was it perception? Not perception.
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Yeah, that's a +0 to my 5. I didn't get anything from the sweet talking, you're the most trusted thing, did I?
You did not, unfortunately.
I tried.
You did try, and I appreciate that. Our confidentiality does not allow me to say. And I'm afraid that none of the clerics here would be able to tell you, even if that did happen. But who knows? Maybe.
Even if it saved the lives of people? Because that's your job, right? Saving people.
My job is to respect the dead, and you didn't. Now get out of my morgue.
I've never been kicked out of a morgue before.
Out!
You have to just kind of wander off.
And don't come back here. The dead deserve better. And she shoos you out and slams the door shut behind you.
I got kicked out of a fucking morgue.
I mean, reasonable. We did.
Yeah.
I had questions. What was I meant to do? Keep my mouth shut?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Especially after what I did. Because that's not really...
See? It's not my fault this time.
No, it's not. Now let's get out of here.
That's like 25-1, right?
The last thing, we are going to skip forward a bit to a moment in time where Snipe is standing in front of a tavern on the bank of the Kainthar River. Hanging above the door is a sign of a tree that has drips coming down from its branches. And the sign says, "The Bloody Oak." Behind you, Snipe, as you're looking up at the sign, is a row of wagons.
I don't know, I just kind of stand there and just take it in and kind of look to the side of me at the spot where I'd expect to see Kaya. And just kind of sigh.
As you look to the spot you expect to see Kaya, you get a message in your head in Kaya's voice. "Snipe, get to Triel quickly. We found a way to summon your demon. Anything we should know before we try to summon it. Safe travels."
Oh, shit. Well, that's gonna be mean. I think for a bit. I just, like, kind of slightly take it in. Is there any windows to the tavern? Like, can I look in to see, like, who's in the tavern?
There aren't any windows on this side of the tavern.
Okay. I say back, plans changed. Now in Scornabel, through teleportation, get here as soon as possible. And I kind of pause for a bit and I say, be careful with whatever you have planned. Make sure of that. And if there's a possible way in a sending spell to just sign off with words, like press enter and then leave a space down.
Yeah.
I sign it Penny. Spelled with a single N.
Okay.
And I just send that off.
That you can do. Roll me a perception check, Snipe.
21.
As you stand there with this message from Kaya in your head, having sent back this return, you picture in your mind that card that had you standing next to each other in front of the Bloody Oak. As an artist, you sort of have a mind for the composition of it, right? You're certain, standing where that card showed you standing. While Kaya wasn't there, you did get a sending from her at that moment. And picturing this image in your mind, when you turn around, you can pick out the wagon in the series that would be the wagon wheel that you saw. There is no horse attached to it. There's no driver. And as you look at it, you see that there are actually iron staples driven into its wheels so it can't move from that spot.
Okay. I kind of go towards the wheel of... I just kind of go towards the wheels, just like look at it a bit closely.
When you move around to the other side, to where that wheel would be in the composition of the picture, you see that there is a piece of paper wrapped around the axle behind the wheel.
Okay. I inspect it.
It says, knock on the bar 4 times. And they'll let you down. See you in the nightshade. Signed, Artaxis. And that is where we will end our game for today.
Oh yeah. Oh my lord.
I'm gonna need that note written down in the Discord because I just forgot it.
Okay, no problem. And that's the game! Yay!
Fucking hell, we just got kicked out of a morgue.
You did.
Holy shit. And it wasn't Hattie's
I
fault.
was surprised with how mad Riss was at you. I thought that she would be cooler than that, and then Hattie asked her a question and she snapped, and I was just like, fuck. She's pissed.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, so that was Road to Elturel.
Jesus.
Wow, a lot happened.
The tarot card came true.
Yep.
Slightly.
In a way. In a way it did.
Kaya is
Kaya doesn't know that. It's fine.
gonna be
Well,
Yeah, Kai doesn't know.
Yeah.
broken if she finds out it came true in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also Kaya
Vagaries.
is kind of standing next to Snipe because they found a way to summon their demon. It's also a metaphor for that.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't believe you
'Cause
pulled that up.
it's
The
yeah.
only hint that like Takaya that may have come true is the fact that I said, "Oh, we're in Scornabel now." She'd just be like, "No."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing
no,
is,
it's
she isn't in Scornabel.
Exactly.
Right.
She'd be
So
like, "Oh,
she
the
thinks it's
message
fine.
log."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
She-
an exact replication of the card.
For a
It is-
second,
Yeah.
I thought that like Kaya would somehow be teleported there. I was
Yeah,
like,
like-
Oh god.
that would have
You
broken
said
her.
as you looked
That
at
would
Kaya, I
have
was
been
like,
it.
"Don't you fucking dare say
There
this."
is
No.
Kaya. Ta-da!
A new message comes through. I found a way to teleport and will be with you directly. Boom.
Fuck. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for another Road to Elturel. Hopefully you'll be back next week, where we'll be catching up more with Kaya and Seymour and their quest against the cult. And perhaps we'll be diving a bit more into this murder mystery that the rest of the group is entangled with. And whatever the hell is going to happen with Snipe. Who knows? Until next time, check out I Roll Therefore I Am on Wednesdays, which is a really awesome podcast that you guys should listen to. And normally on Sundays, we have the Crimson Petal campaign. It will not be going on tomorrow because instead, Dave is doing a subathon over on Whiskey on Twitch.
Which is sadly
He-
enough
he-
also
maybe-
cancelled.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yes.
Cancel it.
he-
Yeah,
He's
he's
sick.
feeling ill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave
Okay.
isn't with us because he's feeling unwell, so the subathon is off and Crimson Petal is off. So
Yeah.
it's a night off for everyone.
All right.
Still wish him
Well-
well though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, wish
well
him well,
wishes to
everyone.
Dave, and hope that he feels better soon. And we'll be getting back to this next weekend. So until next time, have a good night, everybody, and adventure on.
Good night.
Yay! We made it through the
Okay.
end.